Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Hi. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! Here's hoping you are having a fantastic Wednesday evening. Good evening and welcome to Swim. I am your host, Travis Bridges, and I want to say howdy doody to Christine. Thank you, Christine. Here's hoping you're having a wonderful evening. Wow, it's going to be really short tonight. I have a guest that's standing by and we're going to get in it. We're going to get on with it and we're going to be on. Like I'm going to say by 20 after I will be long gone. That's including the guest and my spiel. SWIM, SWYM, that is the acronym for Say What You Mean, and I hope you're saying what you mean. I just like, and I won't even tell you about that because I have to mind my time. Subject tonight is truth, logic, and transparency as it relates to ego, emotions, and the need to be right. Whew. Let me say that again. Truth, logic, and transparency versus ego, emotions, and the need to be right. Guest, are you there?
Hello.
There you are. A little delay, but better late than never. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. How about you?
Not bad at all. I'm not going to keep you long, but I want to share a couple of things with you, but I want to know your thoughts on the subject right away. What are your thoughts on truth, logic, and transparency as it relates to ego, emotions, and the need to be right? What are your thoughts of just the topic?
I think it's a lot.
A lot? Okay.
It's a lot in one thing that you just said. A whole bunch of different subject matters to me.
Okay, well, let me tell you where I'm going, and then you can just give me your thoughts later.
Okay.
This is the example I gave to a friend that I was having a conversation with just a couple days ago. Okay, as a human being, I can know that it's wrong to break the law, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear you. Get that sexy out of there. Just speak up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, let me just do something. Let's say I'm going to do something crazy like, okay, well, I won't even use me. Let's just say a person robs a bank, an adult, a sound-minded adult. They know what they're doing. They know the consequences, what would and could happen if they are discovered in the act of that felonious crime, correct?
Yes.
Okay, they can go and commit that crime and do it. And let's just say it's a crime that is payable by death, maybe. At the moment it's time for them to die, they're going to ask for mercy, correct?
Of course.
Most people do. So what do you do? Tell me what that means to you if a person does something bad, they know it's wrong, they get snagged for it, but then they want mercy. And let's just say they do it 2 times. Let's just say they stole a car the first time, and then the second time they committed something else that was felonious, and then the third time it was bad enough for them to have life. What is this mercy about when you know you're wrong, you know the penalty for it? What is this mercy thing? Give me your thoughts on that.
I think that it is maybe human nature. Maybe they think that they can ask for forgiveness.
They what?
And maybe they think they can ask for forgiveness and mercy because.
Well, you can ask. Here's okay.
I don't believe in it. I'm thinking just man up. You did something wrong. Just take the consequences that come along with it.
I know, but what is it inside of a person that knows that they're wrong but want mercy? I mean, is that a coward part of a person? Is that just the fear of punishment? What is it? If I know I should not be speeding and I'm doing 80 miles an hour and a 45 mile and I get stopped, why am I going to say, please let me go? Please let me go for what? So I can do it again? What is it that a person will not say, okay, I was wrong, I'm going to fess up and just do it? What is it inside of us that won't accept or face truth, logic, and transparency? What is it? Come on, give me an answer.
I don't have an answer. I
What?
think that people just try to get away with stuff. But a lot of people will say, okay, what's my consequence? I did something wrong.
A lot of people?
Yeah, I think so. A mature adult. Not everyone, obviously, but there is some people that would say, you know what? When I get a ticket, I don't say, I'm sorry, officer. I say, well, here's my registration and my license, because I was
Okay,
speeding.
what percentage of the people do that? What percentage of the people try to get out of it or try to ask for a break? Most people?
I would say probably most people. Maybe
Right.
I would say they would try, maybe 60%.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. Okay, so this is what led me to this. Okay, this is something I also want your opinion on. Okay, I received a message and it said, these are the words. I'm not going to tell you about the subject, but the message says, there are frequently many versions of the truth. Everyone has their own version. There are many versions of the truth. Let me ask you, are there many versions of the truth? Yes or no?
No.
So I'm not crazy
No.
for thinking that was that was a crazy statement to make.
No. I think people say that. It's like a what are those things? People say it, oh my God, I can't think of the word. Like it's almost a habit type of thing. It's some sort of terminology, but I can't think of what it is. But at the end of the day, it's just the truth is the truth. There is no variable different kinds of truth. It's just one truth. Did you kill somebody? Yes or no? It's not, I was thinking about it, or I might have, I was defending myself, all these other things, right? But at the end of the day, it's just the truth. Did you do it? Yes or no? Ooh.
Right.
But people will say like, oh, everybody got a story, right? It's her story, his story, and the true story.
Right. So, okay. So maybe, okay, there we go. You just said something. Everyone has a story, and there are many stories about the truth. But how many truths are there? One truth. So help me figure out. I know you can't think for anybody, so don't say, ah. So what what could a person mean when they say there are many versions of the truth? Everyone has their own version. What is that? How do I digest
They're
that?
meaning everyone has their own story. They're just using the word truth, but that's not accurate.
Right.
Everyone has their own story and or their interpretation of, like, say there was an event, something happened, and you ask 5 people what happened. These witnesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them are probably going to say something different based on what they saw and their interpretation of what they saw.
Okay. But one thing happened, though, correct?
Yeah, just one thing happened.
Okay, so let me create a scenario. Let's just say we have cameras in north, east, west, and south, and then we have the whole area on surveillance, and we ask these 5 people, and we hear these different stories. How do we find out what happens? Because if 5 more people look at what exactly happened, could 5 people have a different interpretation of what they saw even after they see it again from a different angle?
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's what this person was saying. There are different versions of the truth. So then what happened then really didn't happen.
Well, why would you say that? What didn't really happen? You don't know that.
Well, yes, I do know. First of all, I passed the first grade, and I don't have any learning disabilities that I know of. I think I'm somewhat intelligent. And if I'm looking at an intersection and I see a blue car roll past the stop sign and a red car that has the right of way is coming through the intersection, and the blue car crashes into the red car, or they crash into each other, one car ran the stop sign, one car was in the right. If that's what I saw, and I have it on my camcorder, and I can show what I saw, I don't care how many people saw it, especially the person driving the blue car that ran the stop line. They're going to say, okay, no, they stopped. But if I know what I saw as an eyewitness, intelligent, sound-minded person, and I have it on video, what happened? What happened on video, or what the person what the person says to happen?
It's a good question. You know how in sports how they have replay?
Sure.
I guess it's kind of the same thing, right? We go by what we see. But is it always just that? This is where the different stories can come in. Like,
okay.
Because if you wasn't really in the car, you don't know what happened. My friend got in an accident. I remember there was a bee in the car. This bee stung him or some sort. Or he was trying to get away from the bee, which led to him getting in an accident. He had his story about what happened, but then the people who were not in the car, who were watching, had their story of what happened, right?
Okay.
But there's still only one truth as to what happened.
Okay, here's my question.
You understand what I'm saying?
Of course. Here's my question. What is the process or procedure that gets to the truth?
Answering questions.
Answering
Giving
questions. Evidence. Okay, that's a process. And conversation, exactly. I believe that a thorough investigation may not get to 100% of the truth, but that's why we have courts, that's why we have mediators, and that's why we have examinations, so that we can get as close to the truth as possible. And I think the court calls it something like beyond a reasonable doubt or something like that, because you can't get to the truth if you don't have an eyewitness or cameras. But if you look at evidence, information, proof, and facts and stuff like the guy, let's just say there's a camera at the intersection the camera will have a side of the story also, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to ask your question, then I'll let you go because I want to keep my promise. Is there more than one side? Oh, no, not one side. Is there more than one truth?
No.
But there are many versions of the truth.
Correct.
Why?
And it's interesting, too. What I'm thinking is, when you have a jury, there's 12 people, right? Is that how many?
12 people, yeah.
Trying to figure out what happened, the truth, right?
Yes.
And I'm laughing because it's like, I don't even know. We come up with this system, but it all depends on what evidence they're given. It all depends on what evidence they give. One person can see it from one angle. Another person can see it from one angle. That's why they always say they only need one. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's just what I was hung up on. Here's something that I know for sure. Truth is truth. A fact is fact. Transparency is transparency, and evidence is evidence. If you are a person who who insists on being right, the truth doesn't matter to you. Evidence doesn't matter to you. Nothing matters to you if you have emotions attached, if you have a massive ego, or if you insist on just being right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And, that's part of the message I got, from part of the message I received about many versions of the truth. I think there's one truth, and sure, there are many versions. The version of a person who needs to be right may not have any proof, facts, information, or evidence. They just may be dealing with their emotions and their feelings, and that's it. So I sure do appreciate you. I love you so much. You know that. And thank you for being there for me at the last minute. This is therapy for me. You do know that, right? I'm not looking for an audience here. My live stream is just, I often say that I want my grandchildren to be able to look back and say, that was my grandpa when he was younger. Because maybe 20 years from now, I may not look this good. I know, right? But, these are just my thoughts. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of my thoughts. And the first thing I'm definitely going to do if I discover I'm wrong, especially, after proof, facts, evidence, and information. Information can give you a lot if you're open to listen. Once I discover that I either made a mistake or I'm just wrong, the last thing I'm going to do is try to allow my emotions to be, to make something right. Now, on the other hand, let's just say if I did something wrong against the law and the guillotine is coming down, I can really understand how a person may want a little mercy at that moment, especially when it's getting ready to come down and they want, a pardon. So I'm not going to say it's crazy for a person to want their life spared. But when you do something funky, you should be at least man enough to say, okay, don't give me the, the death penalty, but just let 10 people come in and slap me as hard as they can. I'll settle for that. Okay, so that'll be the punishment. You either get the death penalty or you get as many people to line up and they can slap you as long as they want. Which one you want? You want the lethal injection or you want unlimited slaps? All right, I'm gonna let you go. Hey, we're gonna hook up later in the week, right? We're still on for our date, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have a good night. Take good care of yourself. I love you.
You too. Love you back.
All right, we'll talk soon. Hasta luego. All right, there you have it, another guest, and I'm going to wrap right on up because I have been on the road. I'm moving and grooving. I'm baking and shaking and moving and shaking. Which is it? Moving, shaking and baking, whatever. That's what I'm doing. Thank God for the ability to move and shake, even in spite of roadblocks, obstacles, and haters. With that being said, there is one truth. And from ever since the time I was a little boy, I remember hearing in Sunday school, I am the truth, the way, and the light, or the life. And that's what Jesus said according to the Bible. And there is one truth. And I believe that many things happen in life where we have to investigate. We have to do, as my friend just said, we have to ask questions. We have to interview. We have to examine. We have to investigate. And you may not get, someone's feelings out the way, or their ego out the way, or their need to be right. But you can look at evidence, information, truth, and facts and draw a reasonable conclusion in order to get to the bottom of anything. And that's all I'm going to say. And to my friend who sent the message, said there are many versions of the truth. Maybe I heard that wrong, and I'm going to apologize for the way I attacked the thought. There are versions of the truth, but there's one truth. And you can have your version based on your need to be right, your feelings, thoughts, emotions, and your beliefs. But allow evidence, information, proof, and facts to be examined without tampering with evidence, information, truth, and facts. On that note, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being there for me. I really appreciate it. Remember, this is SWIM, SWYM. It is the acronym for Say What You Mean. It's important to say what you mean. It's not always easy, and it's easily mistaken sometimes when you say something. So have conversations, have hard conversations. Don't be too aggravated to listen and to hear, and be open for new information, because you should rest well at night. If you're not resting well at night, chances are it's your own fault. Okay? With that being said, I'ma holla at you. Who's in my room with me tonight? There are 2 people now. There were 8 people, so I guess people stop in and see that, it ain't their cup of tea, and they just take off. And then I get, information that, maybe a few more people may at least click on the video. I appreciate it. Know that. Again, I say this is therapy for me. I enjoy talking. According to my therapist, the little boy in me was not heard much as a kid, and now the big man in me still caters to the little boy who still wants to be heard. And I'll talk to myself. Sometimes I'll get one of my friends to chat with me, but I like to address topics, subjects, current events, different things, and just throw my spiel on it. Hopefully I never will offend anybody. Hopefully I will never get to the point where someone will, judge something I say and take it the wrong way. I'm innocent. I don't mean anybody any harm ever. And if I have an opinion that, is not appealing to your taste, give me the opportunity to apologize if I need to be, or just allow me to express myself for, if nothing else, but for the right of expression and or, the freedom of speech. With that being said, have a good rest of the week. Take good care of yourself. Find somebody you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but mean it and show it. And to my sweet daughter-in-law, Erica, I'm going to sing a song for you. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erica. Happy birthday to you. I love you. And tell my grandbaby I'll be there real soon to see all y'all. We're going to celebrate. We're going to throw our hands in the air and wave them like we just don't care, because the roof is on fire. You know the rest, right? All right. Anyway, have a good night. Hasta la vista, baby.
SWYM. Swim. Say mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me sitting right here tonight. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say.
Crazy
You got to
hype.
keep on searching.
Well, not the whole part.
Keep it on the cool side.
Ben Sidra on the cool side.
Keep on looking.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.